Man, that was a cool night's dream. Wow, it was weird. Hold on a minute. There was somebody delivering phone books. Yeah, he was tripping. There's someone actually out there. He's tripping out. Interesting night dreams. Very Harry Potterish, which is really cool because I talked about Maria and her husband yesterday. And there's really neat stuff. We're going to talk about sexuality, human sexuality. Judy Tenuta's joke about a person called a hermaphrodite, and we're going to do some scientific evaluation and analysis on that. And Jesus is a healer of, Judy Tenuta is a moron. Jesus is a healer of hermaphrodites, and we're going to prove that today. Muhammad helps. Muhammad's really cool. We're going to talk about pictures, power put into objects, and different things like Horcruxes and stuff. So this is almost like a Harry Potter, Santa Maria, biological and classical fixes and conditionings through abuse and different things and stuff. So, and my mom used to call it spiritual voodoo when you pray for people too much and do stuff like that. So it was very interesting. This is going to show you the power of prayer and how it should not be used as something to direct something to your wishes. It's very important to pray in the example of the model prayer that was left by the prophet, the Messiah, Jesus, because it has mathematical perfections in it. It doesn't have mathematical fallacies. You're not trying to guard groups to force your will, and it's letting God's will be done. And so it's the most model prayer. It's like, thank you. Okay, guys. On Lopez Road, when Ralph was, we were having some things going on, and Ralph was getting stuck through all this. It was just like a constant state of abuse. I mean, every time he took the kids for a walk, he was worried people were plotting and going to take the kids and try to do some things that were not cool. And so finally one day he's like, he had enough, and he'd sit there before he took the dog for a walk, and the kids are just totally disrespectful and tried to deal with it. He says, I've had enough of this. And he felt bad about just even saying it, because there was problems with little Katybug, he does kind of, I do kind of spoil Kate. Well, she's cute, and she's my buggy. Everybody kind of does. But sometimes I spoil Gracie Bird too, Don't spoil Noah. Noah's mother the boys, they get it kind of tough. Patrick was spoiled because his mom was gone. Noah's mom was there, but wasn't there, and so I could spoil Noah even more. She knew again, and the rest of you. Natalie, he doesn't overindulge. She's been through a lot, and he could feel it, and there was a strong spiritual connection there, and he loves his natty beans. I do. Crumb cake. You guys are being good and helping Crummy? That's your job, right? That was the whole prayer that I put in there, that you guys would be able to get united with your little brother and help with your little brother. You guys helping? Oh, can you do better? Daddy prayed for that. Okay. It wasn't fair for him to be separated from his siblings because he loved them. Oh, God, he loved them. That's why he came out so good, because he came out wanting to see them and be them and ran around them. And it was so funny. You should have saw him in the hospital when he was born. He was like, okay, where's bitch, dumbass? And Mom was home with the kids. I was working most of the time during the pregnancy. The only time he knew it was me. He was really calm because I would sit and talk to her a lot when she was pregnant and actually calmly talk about things, about what was going on with the book that I was writing and life in general, and just the book that I had written. I already wrote the book because he was conceived in 2010, and I had finished the book in 2009. So the work I was doing, I was actually doing the video ministries and stuff during the beginning of those ones where I said one guy called me Ted Nugent because I had the long hair and the Arizona shirt on, and had the 60s kind of poster behind my head, because I'm trying to reach people, and so I was just coming at them as, I had some cool ones. Remember the Osama bin Laden ones with the blue shirt and the long hair, and it really freaked people out because this guy really thinks he's Jesus. He does look like Jesus. It's cool. I had really long flowing hair, and there were some interesting, cool videos. The one where I read from the ones that I burned, So I did read a lot of the notes from the ones that I burned. So those are cataloged. They're also cataloged. You can never mind. But yeah, so I burned them, but they still have them. And well, because they can do digital surveillance while I'm writing them in my apartment or at the store. So yeah, they're still on record. I burnt them, but they still have them. Oprah. Okay. Yeah, so it's everything's kept for your guys'. But however, let's talk about what we need to talk about. This is interesting. The dreams last night. It was weird. It was like a school, like a Hogwarts kind of school with these little trap floors and different things, operations, sexual, not deviancy, but just sexual relationships between men and women, and some of the deviancy that can come from it because of the weird controls and mechanisms that are put on by society and the miseducation that we have about our sexuality, because we're very sexual by nature. And so it's natural for us to explore and want to get to know each other. One of the neatest things that I learned was just waking up this morning after the dream was about hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites are not an accident, okay? It's a condition that's caused by uncomfortable situations for not just the mom, but maybe the father, but just societal conditions that are set up to make it a difficult pregnancy. I had a friend explain this to me in college. It was really cool. She had it was uncomfortable. I didn't want to talk about it. She's like, yeah, we both have the components to be either or, but what it is, you know, it can start out as a male or a female, but what happens is most of us, the women can automatically produce a female by themselves. So they have the components all for that. They need the certain chromosome from the male to produce a male. And that if you look at the sex organ, I'm like, I don't want to know this. She's like, it can be either or. And a woman can secrete a hormone that washes it, almost like it's weird. It's like it turns the male into a female, depending on the conditions. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And so if you look at the woman's clitoris, it looks a little bit like the tip of your, and it's sensitive like the tip of your penis. That's why you're supposed to. Oh, when I masturbate, to make sure I focus on the tip of the cactus, you got to focus on the tip of the helmet of the so, okay. Yeah, that's the most sensitive part. It's the tip of your penis, and so it's her clitoris. So she's explaining this to me. It's like, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know that my baby's woo-woo is the same as like the tip of my, because that makes it like I'm not gay. And it's not a homophobic thing. It's just I really like women. She's like, don't tell me this stuff. So she's sitting there telling, yeah, it's just in this stuff. If you look at the inside of the testicles, it inverts itself and turns into a womb. So she's explaining this to me, and I'm like, oh, wow, this was kind of interesting. So we all possess the same, okay. And so there's similarities between the, yes, and that's why we have homosexual people, some women with higher testosterone levels, men with higher estrogen levels. So there's conditions that are going on in the womb depending on societal conditions and norms. And oh, wow, this is, wow, okay. You're explaining this stuff to me, and I'm getting it. It's very scientific. Old Richard Dawkins evolution. So I was sitting there and superstitious things that people do, and it causes, well, not necessarily, it's just we're just not very good communicators. So the hermaphrodite is not an accident, not a mistake. It's a societal mistake more than it is God's mistake. And it's society's mistake for making our sex into something that's bad. And Richard Dawkins has brought this up. The sex is not bad. It's something that's, it's what we make of it. And I agree with the man. And I think he's very intelligent in that regard. And I think Sam Harris has some understanding of this too. And they're trying to find scientific ways to explain these things. And they do have some valid points in that. And even someone like a Pat Condell, everybody has good and bad in them. Like old Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson are talking about. Because they feel it in themselves too. We all do. I do. Because I told you guys, I don't feel like I'm that great of a guy. Because I've had some moments where I didn't think I was very good. Especially with that dog when I was 4 years old. And you know, the exploring stuff with my half sister at 8, and then you know subsequent things. But that, you're like, well, I don't feel quite as bad. Temple Set was doing some really hard stuff, and she was seeking protection from you, and you were doing your best to provide it, and you did an excellent job, and you're really cool, Ralph. Thanks, Maria. Yeah, you guys watch this? Okay. I love her. I don't want to have a relationship like that with my daddy. And you told her over and over again that you wanted a relationship with her like you have with Emily and Kate. Yeah. Temple of Set and Illuminati are a bunch of buttheads. I said buttheads. I'm watching my language. I'm listening to this lady right here. Yes, she is a close line genetic similitude. This lady right there, okay, is a close line genetic similitude to someone's mommy we know. And the one who's, it's weird, her daughter is a close line genetic similitude to this lady. This is not Mary, Jesus' mom. That's actually Mary Magdalene. And this is San Juan, our Virgin de San Juan, who is a close line genetic similitude from historical significance to a lady we know as Sor Juana. And they all have connections to the same family. In Mi Viejo, San Juan, with certain Puerto Rican and also mestizo and Spanish descent and stuff like that. So they're a very significant and spiritually significant and important family. They're kind of like, not really, but they have more of a pure blood kind of thing going to them. So her family has more of the, yeah, even though she's from Latin line, which she claims is European, and I laugh at, but because you got it, never mind. Well, you do have very European legs. I'm in trouble. No, you got nice European legs. Yeah, I should have quit while they had last night, didn't I? Maria, what I do? Just stop talking. I'm trying to just don't talk to her or talk about this. Oh, okay. Go away. I'm not talking to you. Be gone. Okay. I'm a strong talk. Never mind. Okay. If they haven't, people are, yeah. If you don't get how it works, Jesus works this way. It's all through the Gospels. Muhammad works this way too. Jesus actively does it. Muhammad would go through trances, and it would cause him pain certain times because of the intense severity of it. A lot of people don't believe I'm Jesus, so I can actively do this. This is cool. A lot of people do, but the people that believe are like, yeah, I believe it's him, aren't sitting there sending out prayers to me, Jesus, get us a new house and heal my sister. It doesn't work like that. No, it does not work like that. And a lot of the people that are praying to the candles to Jesus are praying to the imaginary Jesus, and I'm not getting it, especially if you're paying for a new house and, healing for something that goes in contrary to God's will. But I get a lot of prayers from the young ladies that are taught to pray to Jesus in the sex slave trade industry because they're praying, most of them are praying to be free from that, and that taking away their free will and the torture that they're in goes in contrast to God's will, and so therefore I pick up on those prayers. That's why I'm so adamant about it. It really kind of, yeah, Jesus don't like you, and neither do Ralphie. You see what I'm saying? So I love, you guys are so cool. I love the Fort. I wonder if I've been connecting you guys so deeply. Where were we at? So the hermaphrodite. The hermaphrodite is a problem from sexual abuse and sexual. It's not a problem. It is a problem. It's a problem for the person that is the hermaphrodite because something happened in between the development of the sexual being that caused both organs to be created, which it's so. Yeah, I want to talk about this. What kind of a cruel God would put a person into where they can't reproduce, but they have the reproduction organs of both, and it's confusing and it's sad, and there's no God that would make a very angry person, and I don't want to talk about it. I got to talk about it. There is from my belief in faith, Bob Marley said, my faith is my only guarantee and no room and no cry, so I got to push on through. And I'm the same way. And your faith is your only guarantee, and you have to push on through. I do know scientifically and mathematically, pretty much beyond a reasonable doubt, and they have the research to prove it, that we molecularly and relatively are all have a relation. All things in life are molecules, things moving over each other. And we molecularly transfigure into a similitude of ourselves, just like an apple from a tree with a seed. We've already discussed all this. In the right conditions, It'll be the perfect apple you're supposed to be, male or female. And you'll be good at whatever you do as both. Typically, hermaphrodite, if you were a female, you'd most likely be a lesbian because it would be the social conditions. And there's nothing wrong with being a lesbian. My ex-wife is a lesbian. She's beautiful and she's extremely attractive. All the sexual organs are in perfect working order. She's very female. She had a wonderful son. And trust me, heavens, ooh, yeah. She's got attractive sexual organs. She has very beautiful, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't look like it should be a guy who's, no, not at all. She's, well, it's trip down memory lane. You guys were asking. It was fun making love to my first ex-wife. She was lesbian, and it wasn't fun. I mean, it was fun, and it's, physically, yes, it was fun. She's very beautiful, attractive, wonderful, sultry voice, great body, really, but didn't like having sex with men, so it made it hard on me emotionally. But physically, zang. Okay. Can we stop talking about that? Ralphie don't want to talk about that. All right. It was very good, and especially the first time, it was very sweet and loving and protecting and just wow. And it produced you see my boy? He's a handsome, big, strong man. It's on the video with the down there. He's the one with the phone and the muscles. So that's my son. That's our boy. She's as proud of him as I am. Okay, so yeah, and it's and no, he's not gay. So a gay parent didn't make a gay child. But he has nothing against homosexuals. As a matter of fact, he gets quite violent if you pick on homosexuals or hermaphrodites. He will pick you up. He does not want you making fun of anybody, putting down anybody, and disregarding anybody. God made everybody their way for a reason, so they can learn what they need to learn. It's in a molecular transfiguratory state. So I assure you, in your next transfiguratory state, you will be either a male or a female. You have the components in which to choose. It's a change in your biological conditioning in the womb. Don't blame it on your mom. It's society's fault. Mom got put in a difficult situation. It made an emotional reaction. It made you emotionally react while you were... Literally, we pick what we want from the womb. It's cool. They have scientific evidence to prove it. Yeah, that's why I go my cabeza and my brain, I know the way that works, And my heart and all the genes that I have, and I get to basically, literally come to the one that's pretty much assigned for me. So God decides, but God just kind of lets you choose. Like, okay, that one's going to do it. That'll work. Let's go to old Marianne and Ralph. They've got the right gene pool. They've got things. Mom's got the stuff for the brain that I need back here. Dad's got the genetics for this and that. Boom, 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 boom. Dad has the heart, the faithful heart that believes in God no matter what you do. Mom has the analytical, so it's a perfect combination. It's Johnny Gill and Stacey Lasseter. Perfect combination, love plus you and me. This is cool. All right, here we are with two of they got together. It was 12th of November. They had a really good point in their relationship. The boy would be made. Here it comes. Not saying there's anything wrong with when they conceived Pancha. They were also in a good point in their relationship. It wasn't the right conditions to create a son. But they created a holy grail, and when her and her husband got together, they had the right conditions to create a son, and they created the similitude of our beloved Muhammad. So it works. Okay. It really works, and he picked it well. And he knew he was coming because he was my nephew, and there it is. That's my biological sister, Pancha, Mary Frances, and it's discussed in Sir Mary. My mama's name is Mary. His mama's name is Mary. It's just both from the same line. But he covers it. It's in there. So he knew what was up. He's talking to me. I'm talking to him. He's talking to himself. He's pretty reliable. You can count on the Prophet Muhammad. He's a good guy. And you can count on the Prophet, the Messiah, Jesus. We're pretty good guys, all right? We love you no matter what. And we want the conditions in society to change. So in that womb, we set up the proper conditions. And if you decide to become a beautiful female, that's a lesbian, that's cool. If you decide to become a male, who's homosexual, that's cool, but typically you wouldn't be, because if you're a female that was going to be a lesbian, if you come a guy, you won't like the lady just as much as I do. I'm going to be like, dog, you need to stop it. I'll be like, and that's, like Courtney Gilbert. I always found Courtney very attractive, and it made me mad sometimes because she would sit there and jerk, and because I'm a nice guy, and she'd jerk, like do a little information. She couldn't do it with the other guys, but she did it with me, and flirt about things she did with her girlfriend. I'm like, Courtney, I don't want to know this, because you're also bisexual, so, you know my wife is a complete bitch to me. Can you guys invite me over? Just kidding around. But I'm thinking it, well, because you're thinking the same thing. I hate when people do that. I hate when they're so self-righteous. It's like, you're such a pervert because I want to have sex and you like having sex too. You go look at porn and it's okay. But since I'm the similitude of David and Jesus, and how much sex did David not have? Jesus had more sex than me, and he jokes with me about it. Yeah, he was married to one of the most beautiful women in Judea, and she was very affectionate, gives wonderful head rubs and a wonderful bath, and is very affectionate and passionate in bed, and it's quite wonderful. And yeah, and he makes fun of me about it. Because one time I was like, I was talking about somebody in particular. I was like, you seen how fine she is? And he's like, yeah, I know. Jesus, you're an asshole. It's like, well, your wife's, it's not like your wife's or anything to say, you're right. They've been very attractive, but it wasn't the right, I gave them baths. And no one gave me a hand massage. Mom used to give me kind of like a little hair rub, but that's your mom. I mean, come on. And it's, yeah. And it's like, I never had nothing like, asshole. Mister, you just about a knife to the gun fat. No, I get mad. I'm like, man, I got a lot of nothing but abuse thanks to this Temple of Set and the Illuminati. Asshole. What could they are? She's right. They are. They've sat and watched the Temple of Set and the Illuminati work through Army intelligence and stuff like that. And a lot of people, I just sit there and watch it and take it, and it's part of a lot of OMI protocol and things. And it was like somebody running a experiment, or that's their baby, that's their program. Mine was the one called the Christ Project, which is why you were being da-da-da. No, that was their baby. And they could use forms of manipulation on me, but they couldn't take me, and the Christ Project people would have studied me and make sure I was okay when I was at Pope Air Force Base, but I was under constant surveillance, so they were given parameters that they could work on me. They could use sexual manipulation from other people, they could do other things, stuff like that, to see what happened, but they couldn't come in and put in alien DNA and things and stuff like that. We'll cover that next. But yeah, I was part of the Christ Project. I was their baby. I was their sweet little Jesus boy. So I was protected by the ones that they are pretty much connected to and related, the ones that we know as the Knights Templar and the Magi. It's pretty cool. All right, we'll go to the next one, and we'll cover some more stuff. This is really neat. It's kind of like a weird history lesson. I thank you guys at the fort. I love you. We'll be back. Blessings.